Okay, so when you think of Mother's Day in Thailand, what comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's those familiar feelings, right? You're rushing to find a perfect jasmine garland, you hear those classic songs everywhere, and you remember the big ceremonies at school. It's such an emotional day, full of tradition. But what if I told you there's a whole other story behind it? A surprisingly complex one. Let's dig in and find out what's really going on.
Yeah, and I bet this song is playing in your head right now. Kai Nam Nam, which means the value of mother's milk. This has basically been the official soundtrack for Mother's Day for generations. It came out way back in 1949. And the lyrics, they're so powerful. They talk about how a mother's love, her grace, is bigger than the sky and the earth. It's this idea that you can never really repay that debt. It just perfectly sums up that feeling of a mother's endless sacrifice.
And of course, you can't talk about Mother's Day without talking about the jasmine flower, Dok Mali. This isn't just a random choice, you know. There's a beautiful reason behind it. That pure white color, that's supposed to be like a mother's pure, untainted love. And that fragrance, it's so sweet and it lasts for a long time. That symbolizes how our love is constant, unchanging, just eternal. It's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it?
So, all of this brings us to how we celebrate Mother's Day today, the official version. And it's all deeply, deeply tied to the Thai monarchy and one very important person. So, the date everyone knows is August 12th. It's a public holiday, a day for family, you know the drill. It's a date that's basically burned into the national calendar. And here's the key reason why that date was chosen. August 12th is the royal birthday of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Back in 1976, she was officially named the Mother of the Nation. So it just made perfect sense, right? Her birthday became the day we celebrate all mothers across the country.
Okay, so that seems pretty simple, doesn't it? A fixed date, a very clear and meaningful reason. But, and this is where the story gets really interesting, was it always on August 12th? The answer is a definite no, and it's probably not what you think.
All right, let's pull back the curtain and look at the forgotten history of this holiday. Because it turns out, Mother's Day was something of a moving target for a long, long time. Its date was actually shifted and changed by the political winds blowing through Thailand for decades.
Just take a look at this timeline. It's kind of wild. The very first official Mother's Day, it was on March 10th, 1943. Not August 12th. Then, jump forward to 1950, and boom, it moves to April 15th. That one stuck around for a few years, but eventually just fizzled out. Then you see this little blip in 1972, an attempt to bring it back on October 4th. And it wasn't until 1976 that it finally landed on August 12th for good. So, what was going on? Why did it keep changing?
Well, the answer really starts with that very first Mother's Day back in 1943. You have to remember this was during World War II under the government of Field Marshal Plax Phubin Songkram, and his government was all about nationalism. This quote from him says it all. A mother is the creator. We must have people before we can do anything else. See, the focus wasn't just about feeling good and honoring moms. It was a strategic move. It was about boosting the population to make the nation stronger.
So what does that mean exactly? It means that the idea of what made a good mother wasn't just a personal thing, a family value. It became an official national standard. It was defined and pushed by the government to meet its own political needs.
And this chart really lays out the difference. It's a total shift in purpose. You look at the 40s and 50s, that nationalist period, the goal was literally to increase the population, to strengthen the country for wartime. It was all about nationalist ideals. But then, you look at 1976 to today. The goals are completely different, encouraging you to be grateful to your own mother, promoting family values, and of course, honoring the Queen as the Mother of the Nation. Two very different holidays, really. And you can track this whole evolution perfectly just by looking at the Mother of the Year awards. Back in 1943, who won? A mother with lots of healthy kids. That was the ideal. Fast forward to 1956, and the focus changes. It's now about the mother's own health and her social skills, not just how many kids she had. Then, after 1976, it changes again. The awards start getting broken down by categories, like your job, farmer, laborer, or by sacrifice, honoring the mother of a fallen soldier. It's like a perfect mirror, reflecting the state's changing idea of what mattered most.
And here's a photo that really brings it to life.
This is Lady Lyad Pibblesongram, the Field Marshal's wife, with one of the Mother of the Year winners from the 1950s. And this isn't just some old snapshot. It's a visual record. It shows you exactly how these government-defined ideas of motherhood were put on a pedestal, celebrated in public, and pushed as the standard for everyone. Okay, so we've talked a lot about politics and nationalism and how they shaped this holiday. But let's set the government agendas aside for a minute, because there's another, much more personal side to this story. It's about the emotional core of Mother's Day, the part that doesn't change, the part that lives in Thai culture itself.
And you can really feel that in another incredibly famous song, Rien Quan Ruing May, which translates to Essay About Mother. The lyrics are just wow. They tell this story of a child who's been given a school assignment to write an essay about their mom. But they can't do it. And the line goes, "It's so hard, I don't have a mother, so how can I write it well?" It's just this heartbreaking acknowledgement that for some people, this day is full of pain.
And if that wasn't powerful enough, here's the thing that gives you goosebumps. The song is often, and very famously, sung by choirs of children from orphanages. Knowing that context, it just adds this layer of devastating raw authenticity to the words. It forces us to remember that their experience is also a very real part of the story of motherhood in Thailand.
And yet, after all the complexity, the culture seems to always circle back to a very simple truth. There's this other song, A Gift for Mother's Day, and the lyrics basically say, "I don't have a jasmine garland for you. I don't have any touching words. I just have a heart that's full of love, and I've wrapped it up as a gift for you." And that message, that cuts through all the politics, all the history, all of it. So look at the journey we've been on. We started with a simple flower, and we went all the way to nationalist policy. We talked about royal birthdays, and then we heard the heartache in an orphan's song. It really leaves you with one big question, doesn't it? Governments change, dates on a calendar get redrawn, agendas come and go. But that fundamental thing, that connection between a mother and her child, that core of love and sacrifice, what part of that is constant through everything? Maybe that's the real story of Mother's Day.